Nice. Very professional, I think.
Yeah.
See, yeah, I could do professional podcasts.
You can.
Yeah.
You are professional. My God. Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to say, after a long time of me building podcasts for a lot of great creators, I came back to the thing that I love, which is doing podcasts.
Yeah.
And one of the most special things is the comeback episode. And I wanted the comeback episode to be with a very special person. And this is somebody who I don't know if I should be introducing. And no, you don't need introduction.
Thank you so much. Wallah.
You are Joelle, and I want to just tell the world how I know you.
Okay.
It's a very.
I just have to say also, can I just interrupt and
Please.
then you can just continue? I just have to say that you introduced me to podcasts because I was having offers to do my own podcast and I didn't understand. And I felt so intimidated. Like, how can I ask that question? What is a podcast? And then I remember you spoke to me. I had just recovered from COVID.
Yes.
And then we spoke on the phone. And then this was a year and something ago.
Yeah.
And here we are today. So I'm so happy to be doing this with you. And
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say to you, your excitement is contagious.
Thank you.
Your excitement about podcasts is contagious. And you've got me to be as excited about doing my podcast. It's all because of your energy. Because before that, I didn't listen to podcasts and I wasn't into podcasts. But every time I sat with you, like, you were glowing and it's like a lot of words coming out and all related to podcasts out of you. And that is contagious.
Thank you so much. I mean, when somebody compliments me, I don't know what to do.
I know, but it's just
take it.
It's true, it's real.
But I think what I liked was that moment you're talking about when I called you. I remember, I was told to, you should work with Joelle Mardinian. I was like, why would Joelle Mardinian work? Like, why would she even pick up my call? Do you understand that she has a country following her? You look at the population of a country.
Let's say Lebanon. It's 5 Lebanons.
5 Lebanons are following you. This is wild. For me, it's wild.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, fine. I'll give her a call. And you picked up. And you were super courteous. How nice you were was shocking to me.
Really?
Yes, because I've met a lot of famous people. I've met a lot.
I don't consider myself famous in that sense that I need to be different than who I was when I was like 18 or 20 or 27 or before I became like properly famous.
But you are.
2004. I know, but what I'm saying, I'm still the same person.
Yes.
Fame is like, should not change you.
Yeah.
Who the hell is anyone famous? It's like, who the hell are you? Like, when you behave in a certain way, the worst thing I've seen with my own eyes, and I'm not going to say who, someone who's huge.
Juice already.
She came with attitude. And I remember people wanted almost to spit on her, like saying, who the hell are you? But if she had come with, like, Eva Longoria when she came to Dubai, everybody was for 24 hours, 48 hours praising her. My God, she's so sweet. She's so amazing. She's so lovely. She's so bubbly. She's so professional. People loved her.
Yeah.
The other person who's actually not as talented as Eva Longoria, but maybe is actually a bigger name, but her attitude made people say, who the hell do you think you are? You're not even all that. So I've seen this when it comes to certain people that want to have that chip on their shoulder. I personally don't like it. So I would never put myself in a situation that I don't like about other people.
Yeah.
So
I totally
I think we're just not people. I mean, what does it matter? It doesn't matter what someone has. If you have a lot of money, if your dad is someone. I hated also one thing, like we had it in Lebanon, Bayo, his dad and so.
Yeah.
I don't care about his dad. What did this person achieve? I'm judging that person as a person. I don't care who his dad or his granddad is.
Yeah.
Good for them. They're the achievers. What did he or she do?
I definitely saw, this is something like when somebody asks me, Tayyib, how is Joelle like in person? And it's for me, I was like, dude, honestly, she's one of the nicest, down-to-earth people that I've met. And this is a testament, right? Joelle, we've met in August 2021, and half as a date. وهينا اليوم, what were we, October 2022.
Yeah.
And we've remained in touch. Not once did I feel that you had this ego about you or something that we like. There's no like.
But do you remember how clear I was in the with our first conversation?
Yeah.
I was like, Basel, I just want to tell you the truth. If I want to do this, I want to do it as a business. This is not a joke for me. I was just like opening up and showing you my true colors as well.
Absolutely.
And I told you, I don't like to beat about the bush.
Yeah.
I don't like to pretend that I'm not interested in this because of the maybe, hopefully, the income or the new doors that this will open for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't want more fame. All I want is when I put work and effort, that it pays me back. Do you remember?
Absolutely,
and,
yeah.
And being honest like that from day one, I always hope this person in front of me appreciates my honesty and sees it as transparency. And that way we can get along. That way we can work together. That way we can understand where each one comes from.
Absolutely, yes.
Some people don't mind doing big shows for almost hardly any money because they are after fame. So they're getting what they need from that project. Because I don't need the fame, I need to make sure that that time spent is worth it for me and my family. Because if it's not going to be lucrative, then I'd rather sit with my children. Or if that project is not going to be helping people like that needs help, with the refugees, or if people in third world countries that are starving, then no, of course I'm not playing around.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
And I remember so well talking to you and telling you, Basil, I don't know much about this, but if I want to get involved, I need it to be big. I need it to be worth it. I need it to be good. And I need the content to be real. And I remember I said,
Yes.
Can I be real? Is that what podcast is about? Can I talk about problems or issues that people are not talking about? Not because I want attention, because I think we need to talk about them.
Yeah.
We need to have those conversations that as my children are growing, I realize we're not talking about them. When I sit with my friends, honestly, we don't talk about anything important. We just maybe because I don't see them that often. I see my friends once every 3 months.
Right.
So I'm just happy to just listen to anything, but we don't get deep into any business talks or things that are emotional to do with our children or their growth or their behavior, things that I want to talk about.
Yeah, and I think this is what's. I think it's a great segue into, your story, and not just your story, but also maybe your thoughts on some of the modern culture that we live in terms of internet culture and you being a very prominent personality online and offline. I'm interested to poke into your brain.
Please.
To kind of know more about.
You know what I want you to do? I want you to feel like there will never be any judgment from my part to any question that you ask.
Sure.
So I want to give you please, all the space for you to ask any question, that whether it's you or people that have asked you about me that don't know me, even if you know the answer, but you want to know, you want our viewers and listeners to know about it, please go ahead.
See, and that's the transparency of Joelle that I love.
Yeah.
So I think first the building context. Hala, you've started your journey with, I want to say, in a way that you've kind of carved your own path, because there's a lot of people who started, let's say, on the same level as you. But not many have maybe continued their really, let's say, very fast growth like you did.
You think it's fast? I think it's slow. Can I tell you why?
It's sustainable and consistent.
Yes, it is. Yeah, you're right.
So how did you get from what was your mind like, and what is that, what is that drive that drove you to be so consistent? And even though you've faced so many challenges across the way,
oh my God, so many.
What didn't stop you down? How did you keep going?
I didn't realize when I was younger that I even had this in me. So no one recognized it in me. No one nourished it in me. What I'm talking about is the need to succeed. The need to maybe not show anyone in particular. So I'm not doing it to show my dad or to show my mom. I'm just to show the world that what I can do. And I don't know why that matters to me. So why sometimes I sit with myself when I'm really tired, I'm exhausted, I'm in a place where I don't have good mental health, because work has got to me. And I ask myself, why am I doing this? No one is forcing me. Why I keep on squeezing all these projects in that short space of time? Why do I have to go and do, for example, that podcast with Basil on a day when I cannot breathe? I'm eating in the car coming on my way here. I'm just using that as a... not
because you're a good person.
Yeah.
That's
no,
why.
because I feel maybe that I come second. So before Joelle, the person... The Joelle, the one that likes to hold and carry the awards, the one that likes people to say, wow, well done, look where you're at now. It matters to her so much, and she keeps on winning. So not long ago, I wrote on Instagram, I was saying, there are two people inside of me. And that's for sure. I recognize them as two separate Joelles. And I went to actually my therapist, my couple therapy, with my husband. I saw her one time alone after I'd finished with my husband 20 sessions. I went to her alone because I was really in a very disturbed period, which again, I don't share on social media because I'm not, even if I talk about that, it's going to sound like I'm moaning. And I don't want that. I don't want girls to feel like they shouldn't go for it. I don't want to deter anyone. Okay, I want them to go for it. I want them to feel like jealous of me, of my success, to do like me and more. So I feel like I don't want to moan. The time will come when I can tell the story, but then show them how I've come out of it. So I haven't come out of it yet. So I went to her and I said to her, I want to know, who am I? Because there are two. There's one. She was born much later on. I recognized her when I first saw myself on TV for the first time. Because I used to always think of myself that I'm shy. I am quite shy, actually. So I was very shy coming in here. I try to avoid doing a lot of eye contact with people. I don't do eye contact in restaurants. I prefer to eat in my bedroom and stay in my bedroom.
Interesting.
I bring my stuff to my home because I don't want to go through the office building. I'm that shy. But performing for my audience, I feel like I'm doing something good for them. I talk to them. I see people when I talk on social media, and I want to do that for them. So that gives me the power of being able to go on screen and talk to them. But I want to say, going back to when I was 28 and seeing myself on NBC, برنامج بصراحة أحلى, my show, I was so shy watching it. I watched it through my fingers. I had my hands over my face and I just opened my fingers a tiny bit. I didn't even want people to see me looking at myself. I was that shy. And I thought, my God, she's not me. Who is she? Like, really? Like, I don't believe that's me. She's not me. She looks like someone else. I've never seen her before. I didn't know her. I didn't know she existed in me.
So what was that like?
So it took me years, Basil, to understand that there is that person living inside of me. Because for years, as to, if you ask me, what are you like? I say, I'm shy. I'm an introvert. I don't have self-confidence. So people say to me, you're lying. And then I understood that that's not what they're saying. So maybe there are two people inside of me, but I relate to the one that I was born with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your first day on set. Okay. Lights open. Like, walk us through, how did you...
I didn't sleep
how
for years.
Well, I guess maybe a step back. Did you, like, you got a call from NBC saying, like, look, Joelle, we really like you.
Do you know that I knocked on their door?
Oh, so yeah. So start there. Well,
okay. Every time I do...
You knocked on their door.
Okay, look, every time I do something, my dream from day one becomes, I see the final end. I want to be with the big people.
Okay.
So let's say, I was obsessed about exercising, then I became a fitness instructor, but I become jealous of the ones that are on TV.
Okay.
So I want to be that, not because it's the TV, because I see it as the highest, they've reached the highest stage of,
accomplishment.
Of accomplishment. Yeah. So from day one, like when I graduate doing anything, I need to know, how did they get there? What did they do? How hard did they work? And I'm willing to do the hard work. So when I became a makeup artist, all I wanted was my name to be written in magazines, to be one of those people that had an agency that worked, and I need to reach there. I'm not satisfied. For me,
so this is like 21-year-old Joelle.
So for me, nothing is a job.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. It's not a job. Everything for me, even if I'm
it's a passion.
Just starting, it's a career, and career means you grow. A job is just you come and you go to your job. A career is your career can change, every 6 months, every year, blah, blah. So I went to them. I had been working for a magazine, doing the same show on TV, but in a magazine, showing how to get the look right, correct.
Okay.
So what not to wear and what to wear.
Okay.
So I went to NBC with the 7 magazines that I had worked on. It's like, I'd love to do this on TV. And I think the Arab world, they love beauty and da-da. And I didn't speak Arabic very well, by the way.
Okay. And so who did, was this a room full of
No,
men
it was
or?
it was at the time, Yusuf Adib, his name,
Okay.
Tahiyya Kabiri. Actually,
Tahiyya
we mentioned him yesterday, مع Chef Layla.
Uh-huh.
He was the head of production at NBC. And NBC had just moved here not long before that.
Okay.
So he couldn't believe that I came knocking on the door because they had bought the rights for that show and they were looking for 5 months for someone to present it. They couldn't find anyone.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
fate.
So I remember saying to him, oh, I'm so lucky that I'm here. He said, no, believe me, I will never remember this phrase. We are lucky we found you. And after 3 weeks, I was on air. That's how quick it was. I didn't have time to panic.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
have time to, but I remember I started to practice what I wanted to say in Arabic.
Okay.
Continuously, every day. That was just my focus. I know that when I focus on something, Basil, it becomes my whole life. So I don't focus on anything else. That's why it's hard for me to focus on myself, on my needs.
Interesting.
I collapse before I realize that I'm hurt. Because my mind is focused on the bigger picture, the things that I'm working on.
And so you're you did the 3 weeks, and then the first day comes, and then this is Joelle. She had ambition. She did this magazine thing.
Shy, introvert,
all of that.
Scared, petrified.
Boom, get on
worried
stage.
about failing. Yeah.
Lights on.
Yeah.
Action. Action.
Okay, so the nice thing, the good thing, my show was like a reality show. So I didn't have anything to memorize off by heart. So it's almost like saying to you, Basil, now, but we're recording right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like saying to you now, we're going to do a show about you doing your podcast. So it didn't feel that strange because I was so in the moment. I had my contestant and all I cared about was making her believe me that she should cut her hair, that she should dye it that color, that dyeing it that color is going to change her whole look and feel, that her undergarments are wrong for her body shape,
Oh, wow.
that the length of this skirt is so bad for her. I really did not look at the camera. The hard part for me, you know what? Looking at the camera just at the beginning and at the end. My show was all real. So I would walk in the mall with them and I'm talking and I just had the neck mark. So it did not feel that I was ever performing. And that's why when I looked at myself the first time, I was like, whoa, this woman is in control, which I didn't think.
So you felt
That's
there was
about
a
myself.
duality between your
I
private
didn't recognize.
self.
I didn't know she existed in me. I didn't know her at all. Now I recognize that wanting to succeed, she was all along. She was there, but I never gave her importance. She never stepped on stage. Always the shy Joelle. I was attached to that person, the person I was born with. The other person, she was there. She was helping me take those steps, go up the ladder, but I didn't recognize her until I saw her on TV.
That's so interesting.
Yeah. But now I know that everyone has that. So after I wrote this message, so many messages poured and said, yeah, we all have that. I have definitely 2 people inside of me. And now the more and more we find out about artists' lives, we see most of them are introverts.
Yeah.
I don't watch myself, for example.
Interesting.
So I don't watch my interviews.
Okay.
Unless I'm editing. You see, because when I'm editing, I put the professional hat on.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Yeah.
You don't really watch the
No.
interviews and.
It's
Interesting.
hard for me to watch.
And so, okay, did you start realizing, I'm famous now? Ooh, look at that! People are
Yes.
recognizing me.
And I took advantage.
Okay, so tell me about that.
Yeah, so the other Joelle,
Uh-huh.
that strong one that I started to see her on the screen, but was not recognizing her in real life, you see?
Okay.
Again, still. So that's why I'm humble and I have my feet on the ground because I am the Joelle that was born in 75, who has lived that wonderful life, all of my life with my cousins and my mom and my dad, and my brother. Everything was so joyful in my life. So, and I wish the best for people, and I love animals, and I love the universe, and
Yeah.
that person that I like to be a good person as well. I enjoy being good.
Yeah.
I would never want to be a bad person.
But you never had a time where you felt, you're getting so much the power.
Yeah.
Right? Because with fame comes power and money. But did you not feel at some point that, oh, this is getting to me, and now I feel like
Important?
more
No.
important, more powerful. Did you not feel that ever?
Do I act it?
No, but
exactly.
I wonder, like,
because
because
I
you've
don't
had
know.
so much experience.
No, because I still feel small. Till today, I feel small because that ambitious one, she's so ambitious. She's always running ahead of me. And you see, that's what I'm talking about too. I know I'm sounding insane probably right now, but maybe now around if there's like a psychologist who's like listening, they might maybe send me an email and explain this to me. But I feel like the Joelle, I'm struggling to run after this other one who has such bigger dreams. So whatever I reach, I'm still not there because the people that I look up to are much bigger than me. So if you are satisfied with what you have achieved today, you will stop to grow. So I believe...
So you keep chasing that.
Yes. I believe that the people who keep on growing and who sustain, the time, the years and the decades are the people who are never satisfied. They always want more. They want that next step, that next achievement, that next record, gold, platinum record label. Even when it comes to, look at Lady Gaga. She was crying her eyes out receiving that award not long ago, and she's like, this was a hard journey. She doesn't show us the hard journey. She shows us her amazing concerts, her amazing video clips, but to prepare for those, it's a killer,
Of course,
Yeah. And these people don't have a life. I observed it when I used to work as a makeup artist in London with Sony Records. I worked with international bands. I was a makeup artist for Jamiroquai.
Oh.
Yeah.
Crazy. Okay.
I've been to his house. Because he used to have a lot of like Asian TV crews that we used to love to go and visit him at home. But yes, so I saw how much they struggled, these artists.
Yeah.
So it's not all glitz and glam. Nothing is glitz and glam. If I have one message to anybody who's listening about how to be successful, is that you honestly have to be someone that you don't love yourself a lot. You love to see success more than your own self. So that's not healthy, what I'm saying. It's not an advice. I'm just telling you because you have to put yourself second.
Yeah.
Your aches second, your feelings second.
Right.
Your
it's a hustle.
Worries. Yeah. I used to go on stage and I would like, oh my God, I just wish that day was a year ago because it's going to take me a year to get over stepping on stage and facing 500 or 1,000 people or whatever. I panic. But did I allow the panic to get the best of me? No. You know why? Because I don't love myself enough. Because I will force myself. So the person who will not go on stage is the person that loves themselves, their feelings, their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So if I love Joelle and to be kind to her, I'll say, no, I'm not going on stage. Because I don't love Joelle. I do and I don't, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I got you.
The stronger one, she wins.
You want to break the mold.
She puts me on there and I'm feeling sick and I'm panicking and I'm sweating at the palms.
I wonder there's two things here I think that come to mind. One is stopping to enjoy the moment, and with all that you've achieved, you from success to wealth to being a mom to being a wife, and do you ever stop to be like, I'm gonna stop and enjoy this for the summer?
I do. Okay, so I do, but what happens is that when I usually take July and August off, but it's not really off because when I leave Dubai, July, I end up on my phone, on my WhatsApp, on my emails, calling, Zooming, because I cannot detach. She keeps on winning. And it's this fight between her and me. And honestly, I might sound strange to you now. I'm talking about two people, but it is two people inside of me.
I get it, yeah.
There is the one that feels like, damn it! 5 days have now gone missing from my holiday and I'm not on holiday anymore. It's like the only thing that has changed is the scenery.
Yeah.
I'm seeing more trees, more flowers, but I'm still working. I'm doing the same hours. I'm stressing. I'm shouting. I'm angry. I'm calling Italy and I'm going crazy and I'm losing my mind.
Right.
I'm insane and I can't enjoy the moment. It takes me a month
to detach,
to calm down.
Okay.
And then to say, hey, people from my office, I don't hear your voice. Don't call me. Don't WhatsApp me. Don't email me. I'm not looking. Trust me. If the office burns down, I'm not looking. But for her to win, it takes time.
It takes a month. Does that affect, like, or is your family used to it, or does that affect?
They don't
like,
feel
just
it.
get off your
They
phone,
don't feel it. So a long time ago, my husband used to complain a lot. Because what would happen, Basil, let's say I'm in the car, okay? So I make use of every moment.
Yeah.
I don't have a moment of bishrod. I wish I did.
Yeah.
I don't have that luxury. So
Right.
I use every moment to do something else. I make use of that time. Sometimes I eat in the car and then I continue, going through my WhatsApps or the emails or, doing voice messages to people in the office. Don't forget this, don't forget that. Come you meet me, do this. So he used to complain, of course. And he didn't understand. But, I honestly had a vision for social media way from the beginning. I swear.
We need to get into social media.
I swear to God, okay? My faith in God is just the most important thing in my life.
Yeah.
That comes with my children, okay? I'm so grateful for my faith. I think my faith makes me the person that I am.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
That grounded person, the loving one, the one that wants everyone to be a winner, that blah, blah, blah. So I'm telling you, I swear to God, from day one, I knew the potential of social media and that would pay the bills one day.
Interesting.
So I remember very clearly one time we were again in the car and I was on social media editing or doing long time ago. And my husband went crazy at me. And I'm like, listen, one day this phone, this work is going to pay the bills. And I don't forget it. I don't forget that
Amazing.
time. Yeah.
That's amazing. So there's certain, I guess, hustle about you, and there's a personality trait that I'm seeing. And you are kind of, let's say, like almost like obsessive over your success.
Yes.
Right?
Of
so
course.
like this is something
it's
that
because it's not a joke, Basil. We're not playing.
Yeah.
Is anyone playing? Are you playing?
I'm not playing.
Exactly.
This is-
Are you?
yeah.
How hard have you worked to establish a company?
It's so tough to a point that because you mentioned earlier, sometimes you question
yourself.
and that always happens to me.
Yeah.
I always sit and I question, am I doing the right thing? Am I putting my time in the right thing?
Yes.
And I'm putting so much hours and so much. Like,
But that comes when you're exhausted, when you're
Yes.
tired, when you're doubting yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
there's this imposter syndrome,
Yeah.
they call it, where you feel like people think I'm something. I don't think I'm that thing.
Exactly.
And
I swear to God, exactly.
it feels like
Basil, so you understand me?
100%,
So when
yeah.
people in the press say to me, wow, look what you've achieved, and I'm like, oh, I haven't achieved anything. Like, okay, I launched iCandy. To me, that's the easy part. Let me sell.
Yeah.
Let me go into all the doors. Let me enter into Europe, into America. That's when. Wait until my company is listed.
But that's what I like about.
Yeah.
I like that about you. I like that you are. There's a fine line between being a dreamer and
Yeah.
being an execution person, and I
Yeah.
think you have both. And I think this is a very.
You have both. Listen, there isn't an entrepreneur that doesn't have both.
Yeah.
Because people try, but then they take a step back. And that's why they don't do it. Because either it's too much hard work. They love themselves. They love they don't give up their free time and
Their comfort, like
yeah,
you're saying.
they don't want to
Yeah.
give that
The
up.
other Joelle that you
yeah,
love,
yeah, they don't want to give up seeing their friends. Blah blah blah. So every person who starts a business, works hard at the business, will relate to what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
If people that have not even tried that, even if you tried and you failed, but you'll understand what I'm saying. But if someone hasn't done that, they think, what a roller coaster of a conversation. What is she talking about? But now we're talking the same language, you and me.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
when you're exhausted and you're tired, and also don't forget, this is our time, which means it's our investment. Instead of
true.
us getting paid for all these months and years sometimes for a project to come to life, we're working for free
Yeah.
towards something that has no guarantee.
Yeah, that hopefully will pay off at some
Yes,
point.
but you see, that's exactly what I'm saying. So we are working so much harder because we were desperate to make that project work, to bring in the cash and then to be successful and to sustain it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So with that token, the other side is failure, And,
Oh my God, I don't ever want to think about that.
So here's the question to you. Do you ever feel like you
I
have
failed many times.
So how is
course I
that
have
like?
failed.
And what is failure? What does failure look like to you? Did you experience it? Did
Losing
you-
money, Money meaning losing time with my children.
Mm.
So what hurts me the most now, I want to tell you how I see it. So when I started my very first Maison de Joelle, it was because of the show.
Right.
I never ever wanted that. I just wanted to be recognized. It's about recognition as a good professional makeup artist and to be one of the top.
Did somebody invest in that, or did you fund it yourself?
So yes. So when I became famous, people started to come to me on the streets, in the malls, in the supermarkets. Oh my gosh, Joelle, I love your show. Where is your salon? Because they always assumed the salons on the screen were my salons because I was making the shots. So I'd be like to the hairdresser, oh, can you please cut her fringe? Give me some highlights at the front. Can I leave it brown at the back? And just give me longer lengths at the front and keep the back short, for example.
Yeah.
So because I was making the orders, people always assumed they were my salons. So I kept on saying for 2-3 years, oh, that's not my salon. It's so-and-so. Oh, that's not my salon. And I was like, my God, I should have a salon. Imagine if I had a salon, how many people would just come to my salon? So people say to me, oh my God, I wish you would open a salon. But at the very same time, a lot of investors started coming. And at the time, I also feel like God is great because God has put me to meet the best type of investor, a silent investor, someone that saw the potential and realized that, okay, if I put this money into Joelle,
she knows what to do.
She's a professional person. I don't understand her business. Let her run it, and it's 50-50. And it was amazing.
Wow.
But
good deal.
Amazing deal.
Yeah.
But I was doing all the hard work. So
Sure.
even from choosing the tiles on the walls, on the floors, the wallpaper, the chandeliers, the makeup chairs, the hair chairs, the sinks, doing the branding, the business cards, the uniforms, hiring the staff, all of that I was doing.
Yeah.
He had put the money. Where I have failed, and I like to talk about failure, what happened after that? I started to get sponsorships from big brands, international brands. Can I say them? Can I say? Okay. Pantene, 6 years. Max Factor, 10 years. Dyson, 3 years. Evian, Gillette, Braun. And at that time, it wasn't just like do a post for us. I'm the brand ambassador. And what they used to do, those brands, the interest was to take me to Saudi Arabia because that's the biggest market. So I used to travel so much for those brands, for the money that I was getting. That money I used to grow. Okay, because I'm a normal person. So how can I grow?
So you
Well,
would
don't
reinvest
understand. When you invest, you're investing with money that is hard work money. Of course, I lost a lot of branches because I opened at the wrong time in wrong locations. Because that's
okay.
you can't win all the time.
Right.
If Fauchon, the biggest, the company that does the macaroons,
Right.
the number one company that does macaroons in the world, it's a French brand. They closed an MOE, and the biggest names, 70% of them left MOE and failed. Of course, I'm going to fail.
Right.
That's how I used to say to myself to feel good about it.
Okay.
That if these big people, these massive companies with CEOs and COOs and advisors made the wrong decision to open in the wrong place at the wrong time, then
Right.
it's okay for me to sometimes make a mistake.
Yeah.
Because I'm harsh on myself. I feel like I should not make a mistake. How did I make that mistake? But it's not something that you can sometimes avoid because that's the nature of business.
Right.
So you open at a time when the country is booming and everything looks like is a guarantee, and then a crash happens. And with that crash, how much can you absorb?
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes I made mistakes when I had partnered with the wrong people. So
Interesting.
and again, that doesn't work because I'm a trustworthy person. They're not trustworthy. And then things collapse. And then that's a heartbreak for me. It's not a heartbreak because that business failed. To me, it's that money that I earned by being away from my children.
Right.
So I take it back. Imagine like a tree, okay? So you are the base of the tree, and the soil is all the opportunities, all the money coming in. So I'm doing for 5 brands in 1 year. Imagine I'm servicing 5 brands in 1 year. All the travels, and I have to travel, take flights at night because I'm busy during the day.
Yeah.
Either it's filming or I'm attending to my brands, Joelle Paris or whatever else I was doing. And yeah, using every opportunity, free time to service those brands.
Right.
And all that money that I gathered, I had lost.
Yeah.
See, it's a disaster.
That hurts.
It's not about money anymore because money
about your
to me
time.
is my time.
Yeah.
So I lost my time with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know where I live. There's that club.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I never go to that club. It's crazy. When I go to do meetings, sometimes I look at people like, oh, really? People are living. I feel like everyone's like me, like in a rat race. But then sometimes I look around, it's like, wow, people go out.
Yeah, that's enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
You know, that's where you just step back. And I think it's interesting you talked about your family, because it's interesting for me to know, how does this affect you being a mom, and we're going to get to obviously you being a mom because there's a lot there, but how does it affect you, like when you're so busy and and this is not, for me, it's not a judgment question
No,
or anything.
I know.
I think for a lot of women who maybe like are fans of yours or maybe even listen to this, how do you manage, that insane schedule and building and hustling, because you're a hustler, like hustling,
Okay. So let me tell you how.
with being a mom, like
So there's
that's a lot of work.
There's no
too.
time for Joelle. So now you see me, I look great and my hair's blow dried and I have makeup on. But even what I do, if I have a job where I need to look good, I put it all in one day. So I can do makeup only that one day.
Okay.
So for the rest of the time, everyone in my house, they see me in my pajamas. Literally, and the pajamas that don't match. The top doesn't match with the bottom.
Right.
I swear to God.
I mean,
I just
once had a meeting with you
honestly-
in your house, and
Yes! Was I in my pajamas?
you were definitely in a pajama.
And I just don't care. I'm just serving my work.
Yeah.
I'm a servant to my brands. That's what I am. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
So once the brand comes alive, she's more important than me. So I'm serving that brand. All the team is serving that brand. The
Right.
purpose to make her grow, to make her shine, to make her number one.
So you're like your own business.
Yes.
Joelle is
Yes.
your business.
Yeah. So I don't have time to think about drinking water or eating, or I'm not aware of my body. So I become just a mind for the entire time of that day. And then once my children come home, that's it. My focus is just them. At the weekend, I don't work. And my focus is just my children. So I make sure that we're swimming together, we're anything. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
But we don't leave the house most of the time.
Yeah.
So we are like a close, pack. Because if you leave the house, then there are other things that might like distract you. So nothing to distract me from my children. And I make sure that every half term, I make sure to book myself away, because I know I've tried it a couple of times. We stayed in Dubai and I ended up working.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you in your journey, because the broadcast industry, because you were on TV for a while, right?
Oh my God, 2004 until 2018.
And then you have
non-stop. It's the longest reigning makeover show in the world.
Did you feel
Non-stop,
there were
Basil.
glass ceilings that you couldn't because of a certain reason, like, I don't know, it's a man-run world, for example, and
No. I mean, honestly, at that time, there were so many more opportunities for me personally as Joelle from brands, because social media didn't exist. So the only people that brands were able to use were the TV stars, the movie stars, and the singers. That's it. It was just that category. So, of course, NBC's policy was that we could not do anything with anybody without their discussion. It comes from them first. It doesn't
Right.
start with us. It starts with them, and then it comes to us. But honestly, I always feel like that's just the way it was, and I'm okay with that because they gave me an amazing platform, and I respect their platform, and I love their platform, and it's always been home to me. And I feel good about MBC. I feel like I'm happy I'm connected to them. I'm blessed that I have them. But not everyone shines on MBC. So not everyone they put on the screen becomes a superstar or becomes a successful person.
Yeah.
That is your own work outside of the screen.
Right.
It's are you willing to give up the rest of your days and hours to do something on the side?
Yeah.
I was willing, but not many were willing.
Yeah.
Because it's already a lot of hard work.
So I know, I mean, the guys are like signaling to me, but there's something I really want to talk to you
please.
about, which is,
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, sure.
Did you get from this interview what you were hoping to
I would
get?
I love the conversation we're having, and this
Okay.
is exactly what I wanted to get
Great.
out of it, is having a great conversation with Joelle. The thing that I mean, a lot of people know you for is being a mom that adopted.
Yes.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people who know the background in some way or the other. But, and you told me this before, but there's something I found like very fascinating about you choosing to adopt. And I think the past 40 minutes that we've been talking, I think we've built context around who you are. And so it's even crazier, that you said, I'm ready to have another kid, and I want that kid to be an adopted kid,
Yes.
despite all that's happening in your
Yeah.
life. So
Because
talking about
Nathan saved me. So Nathan, I needed to adopt. Since I was super young, I knew I had to adopt. I had to do something that was so good back to humanity. I have to save someone. I have to give someone an amazing life.
this is when you were young.
I
like-
had such an amazing life with my parents that I couldn't, whenever I watched like Cinderella and Snow White and watched like وشو اسمه هيدا? Wait a minute, like Annie
Okay.
and Oliver Twist, they were all orphans.
Right.
Everything around me was orphans.
Interesting.
It petrified me because
Yeah.
I was in such a good place, cocooned, that I couldn't imagine not having my parents or even not having one of them. So not having any of them and being left on the streets like those, children's movies, it petrified me, that idea. So I always thought, oh my God, I really need to adopt. So when I first met my husband, I told him, before we even got married, I just need to make sure that you're okay, that one day, I want to adopt. It might happen, it might not happen, but that's just, I need to make sure you're okay with that. And I spoke about that within my family for so many years.
Yeah.
So when people found out about it, this was just the fruit of what I was, doing for years before that. We fantasized about it. I had fantasized about taking someone's child since I was 16 years old. I used to go on the bus in London, go to school, and I would look at some children like, oh my God, I wish I can just steal that child and just take that child home.
So you've always been maternal.
I've always
Okay.
wanted kids. But when Nathan came to my life, so the idea was at the very, very beginning that I really want to adopt a child. And I had so much love for children. And not necessarily that if I'd given birth to them, that never, ever, ever, ever mattered to me. And again, I will say to you, knowing that God has given me everything that I have, and I'm so blessed for my life as it is, I swear to God that I love Nathan more than anything in this entire world. At the very, very beginning, I thought that I was doing something good, but Nathan's existence in my life is what's good in my life. So he brought me so much happiness. He is my he is my sunshine.
Wow.
He is my eyes. He is my sight. He is my heartbeat. He's everything. And I swear to God again, I would be so upset if I get pregnant by mistake, because I just don't want a biological child. If anything, I wouldn't mind another child coming to my life and adopting again.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so interesting
Isn't
to me.
that crazy? I would be so angry. I'd be upset and I would question God. Why do you do this to me? Because I don't want any of my own. I would love to adopt again.
Wow.
And you're saying with all this time and how can you cope? Because I put them before me. So I still put my children before me. So when I go on holiday, I haven't been on holiday with my husband alone since years.
Yeah.
we did it now for 1 week in Sardinia, and we realized we need to do it. We need to connect. We're living for the children.
Yeah.
We're just serving our children. We're like the soldiers and protectors and providers for our children. We live for them. Our happiness is them.
Yeah.
I always say my happiness is my children.
Yeah, it does really build very different context, I think, to life. Well, I feel like people who don't have kids probably
Don't
will not understand
No.
it. Yeah, they won't get
You
it.
see, it's like before, people who didn't try a business and invest and put in all the hard work, they will not understand.
Yeah.
So our conversation today was in a way niche
Very.
to people that either...
It's good.
Yes, it's
good to have
very
niche.
good, because you know what? It makes them realize that if they think I arrived at my destination in terms of business, I haven't.
Yeah.
So I still beat myself up.
It's crazy
about,
though, because you have 20 million people following you. You
I'm
have
working
businesses.
so hard
and
for that, and then you look at people who have 100 million and
That's
200
amazing.
million,
I mean,
and
this is like ambition that is amazing, you know.
But Basil, I see the same in you.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
I know you're seeing that in me, but I'm seeing it in you.
Thank you.
You know, we don't see these things in ourselves, and
Yeah.
that's good, because if we did, we would stop.
Yeah.
We'd
yeah.
be satisfied. We're not satisfied.
I mean, look, you know, this is about you.
Yeah.
This is, but I think your story is so fascinating. Your story is inspiring to a lot of people.
Thank you.
And I think, namely women, and a lot of times I think of my wife in this context.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when you talk about your ambition and your attention to detail and stuff like that, I think a lot of my wife at the same time. You know, and she's so much like this, and I feel like as a mom who's expecting now in the next couple of weeks, it's very important to hear conversations like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's very important for her to know that there's somebody like you who has become so successful and being a mom of 3 and like it's incredible.
Basil, you know what is amazing? Yesterday I went to a women's talk. Okay, it was all about women empowerment. I'm going to make this very short. And I watched 2 sets of talks. Every single one inspired me. Even if I was perhaps more successful than some of them on stage, but even the ones that were not as successful inspired me with their story. And someone said, when I hear the story of other successful women, I go home, I go to bed, I wake up and I want to do more. It makes me want to do more. And this is what I really hope from this podcast today. Anyone listening, they've listened to my mindset, what drives me, how I did it, how I think about myself, the doubts that I have, and then the heartbreak from the failure and admitting to failure and wanting more success. I hope that gives them the energy and the power to continue following their dreams and making those dreams a reality.
You know, I think it's not just women, it's also men, I think. Because your story is one of building an empire.
Yeah.
You know, and
but you know, there's an empire of women now. It's all about women empowerment. They're becoming so strong.
Yes.
You guys have to be careful.
Sure. Yeah,
you have to be careful. These women are holding hands and they're just going for it.
They're taking over. But I think it's inspiring, because for anybody who is listening or watching, it's very important to have this perspective, you know, and this attitude that you have it's infectious. So I hope somebody like puts this down after they're done. They're like,
just do it, go for it.
I'm gonna really go for it.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
like
yeah.
Rocky,
you know,
who has his own business. And
yes,
so
I love to inspire people that work with me to open their own businesses as well. So I'm not mean about them growing. I love them to grow as long as they stay serving the business you know, as well, but owning their. So Lena, for example, Lena was with me. She was my PR manager
from
Think Smart.
From Think Smart Hub.
So
shout
Lena,
out to
I even
Think
remember. Yes, shout out to Think Smart and Think Smart Hub. So she opened another business.
Right.
But Lena was just an employee of mine, and then she was getting opportunities from people that wanted to steal her from me.
Oh, okay.
Thinking, oh wow, Joelle is so famous. She's on every cover. She's in every magazine. She's on every radio channel. Maybe it's all because of Lena. And I knew about them. And Lena used to be so honest and say to me, oh my God, can you believe Jou? She calls me Jou. Can you believe Jou? These people approaching me as if I would ever go and work with them. And then after a while, I was like, I was like, Lena, take that opportunity. I used this name. I would love to sell this name to someone. Hello, investors, I'll sell my name. I'll call myself Rita, anything else. I'm willing to give up this name. This name is heavy.
Yeah.
I said, Lena, use my name. I allow you, but just don't bring me competition. So the world is big. So do PR for florists, for restaurants, for so many fashion designers, but not in my direct beauty industry. And Lena at the beginning is like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. No, I don't. I don't really. It's like, you're not leaving me, but I want you to grow because with me, you've reached the ceiling.
Yeah.
I can't raise you more. So I don't want you to stay here.
So, I mean, that's amazing because also I feel like, I remember when I told people like, oh yeah, Joelle's going to work with us and such. They're like, how did you manage to do that? And I was like, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I feel like she likes to work with startups and she likes to help people.
I do.
She likes to,
I prefer. And I had like big offers before, and you know them.
There were 2 other offers. And people from those companies asked me, like, what did you say to her?
Yeah, because one of the
power of persuasion.
So earlier on, I talked about how when we met, I was very clear that this should be lucrative. So I need people to understand the money is never the focus at the beginning, but it should come in the conversation for honesty.
Yeah.
So
and you're clear from the get-go.
I turned a big sum down because I prefer to do it with you. I believed in you. I believed in your energy.
No pressure.
Yes, but I believe in you, and with your energy, I believe that you're gonna give this. You're gonna make this your priority.
Yes.
When this big company will not put me as probably their priority.
100%. Yeah.
And that's why I love for people to grow. I have satisfaction when people say to me, okay, so I had an amazing message. I wish I can play it from one of my employees at Maison de Joelle. So she sends me a message. She's now in Lebanon. She says, Joelle, I want to thank you. And thanking you is just not enough. She said, you don't understand how much you've helped me. She said, you're not here with me, but you've opened so many doors for me because I've come from Maison de Joelle. She said, until now, people come to the salon, they ask for me because they know I worked for you. So endlessly you're helping me and you're still helping me. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's more satisfying than money. If I wasn't kind like that, I'm losing. It's not they're losing.
Yeah.
I'm losing.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? I know like I'm kind of going over here, but I mean, you are here. I want to ask you questions. But so I want to ask you this. You're super big and engaged in social media. Do you, are your kids into social media? And
no.
They're not. So you don't have that issue where like.
I wish they were.
Oh, interesting.
Because you know why I wish they were? Because I wish that, for example, Ella, if she was serious on her social media, she would taste what it would be to be an entrepreneur from this age, where she's in charge of her content. She's in charge of maybe brands coming to her and approaching her and doing deals with her. So she had her first deal. She did actually a collab with Black Tap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they named a milkshake after her. She designed it. Oh, yeah. And she didn't let me sit with her when she had all her media interviews. And again, I need to do this, but I swear to God, I really do, that the lady who runs the PR for them, she was with her. And then after she said to me, Joelle, I cannot explain to you what Ella is like. She said, I sit with influencers who are 17, 18, 20, 25. They don't talk as well as she does. Like, wow. She's incredible. But I wish, but maybe she's too young and I don't push her. You see, there's a difference between I need her, I want her to do, or I wish. So I'm choosing my words very correctly, is that I wish she would take Instagram more seriously so she can start to taste what it will be like to really make money on a regular basis. This is just not a one-off. And she will learn from such a young age how to, if she likes this industry or she doesn't like this industry. Nothing is forced on my children, ever.
Do you find yourself saying like, oh, enough screen time or something like that?
No,
or
they're not on the screen.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Very
no,
interesting.
they're not. Bailey is, he had a discount from King's College because they really badly wanted him to do English literature.
Oh, wow.
I remember when I went.
Superstar kids.
Yeah.
Like, that's amazing.
I mean, he's, can I say this? Can I say F Google?
Sure.
F Google, ask Bailey. Literally. I swear to God, Basil, once, I don't know where we were. Maybe it was like walking in the forest. I love taking my children and walking in the forest because we just talk.
Okay.
Or going on holidays. We just talk. We are stuck in this suite on this room and we just together, we talk. So one day, I don't know why, my husband said, is there an albino elephant? Who's going to know the answer to that? My son knows.
Bailey.
Bailey's like, oh yeah, there are. And actually, this is if you really hate someone in India and you're rich, you would gift them an albino elephant because they're not allowed to be in the sun. So they have to keep them in the shade all day, which means they cannot work on the land and you have to feed them.
Wow.
So actually you're making that person lose money by feeding this albino elephant and they're sacred, so they not kill them. I'm like, oh my God, Bailey, like, where do you get this info from? Another time we were swimming in the sea, and you know when you get like this hot patch and cold patch and hot patch and cold patch?
Yeah.
I always thought it was sewers. I always thought this must be sewers, must be some pipe, some broken pipe. And apparently, so we were just in the sea like this summer, and like, Bailey, why there are some like cold and hot patches in the sea? And it's like, oh yeah, that's because when you're swimming, okay, the water on the top is hot because of the sun, but your body is moving the water around, so the hot water goes down and you feel it on your feet and on your legs and on your body. So I'm like, yeah, so I don't force my children. I approach them with inspirational talks. So I talk to them, and I don't talk to them that one time. And when I talk to them, it's not forceful. So I give them space. And I let them think about it, even if it's going to take 1 or 2 years. Yeah. So funny enough, you asked me about that because yesterday, wahiyat Allah, I swear, Basil, I called Bailey to London, and I thought, you know what? His Instagram account, he never ever uses it. And it has maybe like 400,000 because I tag him all the time. I thought maybe I can use it for one of my new brands. I'll just change the name and I'll use it for my own brands. And I thought Bailey's going to say, yeah, Mom, I don't want it. And I picked it up and I was like, hi, Bailey. Hi, my love. Hi, Mommy. Hi, baby. How are you? Yeah, great. How's London? How's uni? Yeah, great. It's like, Bailey, you know that Insta account, bailey.creen? Do you want it? Yeah, I think I'll have use for it one day. Maybe if I do something great. Look what he says to me. If I do something great one day, maybe I want to post about it. So Bailey has the same mental issues, let's call them issues, that I have.
Okay.
So years ago when I asked Bailey, play your guitar. People your age will be inspired of how you relax, of how you spend your time. Talk about the games that you like to play. Show the books that you like to read. He was never interested. So he used to say to me, these are not my fans. They're your fans. And once I remember I screamed and I said, Bailey, these people decided to follow you. They want to know more about you. Use them. Use those people. Maybe you can inspire children your age. So he never did. So listen, how yesterday it happened that I asked him if I can take that account, and suddenly I have like hundreds of thousands on this new business that I'm doing. And then he's like, no, Mom, when I do something great. So he's waiting to do something great. So he has that same issue that I feel I'm not ever doing anything great. So I need to do better. And he feels the same. I'll give you one last thing. This is for people actually listening. Actually, I'm saying it, and I'm saying it on purpose. Again, like 4 years ago, before Bailey did his A-levels, he got his report from school. And I was crying. I was so impressed because, I never say go and study. I never ask all year, what are your grades like?
Really? Wow.
Why should I? Why should I put that mental pressure? He's going to hate. The more pressure you put, the more they're going to hate. It's going to be a burden. If you ask me every day, how's your work every day today? Are you tired? Are you this? Don't ask me. Ask me at the end of the season.
Right.
How was your season? Actually, it was great. I was tired, but it was great. It went really well.
Amazing.
I'm so proud of those 10 episodes.
Yeah,
Don't ask me as I'm doing them all the time.
It's good thinking.
I'm just going to complain because I'm shattered and I'm tired. I'm doing 18 hours and I'm not seeing the big picture, the good picture. I'm seeing just the bad stuff.
Yeah.
So I got this report and I was crying. Bas, I was like, and he's like, Mom, what's wrong? I was like, I got your school report. And he's like, Mom, what's wrong? It's like, I'm so proud of you. And he's like, Mom, phew. It's like, Mom, it's okay. Like, there are people that did better than me. You see? He just answered me with that. And then we were in France. I swear, I remember he was sitting on the floor, I think playing with one of the dogs, and I was standing above him. And I remember saying, Bailey, well done. Your teacher gave you, for English literature, like a star, like A+, A star. It's like, and he said something in English. Like, honestly, it's a word I don't even remember.
Yeah.
It's like a description. Because, he uses like complicated words.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an English
like
literature.
beyond.
Yeah. So he's like, oh, this is just, he's playing it down.
Right.
He's playing his success down. But that hurt me. But the more I learn about my children, the more I see that I'm learning about myself. I see their behavior. I hate it. And then I do something that resembles what they do. And then I realize it's coming from me.
Yeah.
So playing down the success always. He's like, oh, Mom, this is just the teacher's way of like hypering us, for example. But I'm not even using the right word. Okay.
There was a
like
very complicated.
making us feel like special. But
Right.
it's just A.
Okay. Wow.
He's not acknowledging the A star. He's just A.
That's
Yeah.
It's really interesting because some people they cannot take a compliment, or they cannot take a.
He can't.
Yeah.
He cannot. And I cannot. And that's why, because whenever you give me a compliment, my mind goes to, oh, I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and that's, I
see?
guess, what we talked about earlier,
Yeah.
right? With
Yeah.
this is what people think of me.
Yeah.
This is what I think of myself.
Yes.
There's a gap here between
Yes.
what these two things
Same
are.
like when people talk about you, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not relating to that guy. Who's that Basil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't found him yet.
It's really interesting. Like, it's such a wild, thing to think about, you know. And but look, I feel like I could, like we said earlier, we could talk for hours upon hours upon hours, you and me. But I wanted to basically, conclude this and say, it was really what I wanted to do. And you asked me, did you get what I wanted out of this? It was more about, I think what always got me thinking about you is your drive, that drive that is contagious, that drive that got you to where you got. I think is an important story. And I think a lot of people might, look at things that superficially, like,
They
oh,
think
this is just an Instagram thing.
you can
or
kill
it's
me
just
if you tell me luck.
well,
You-
not
you-
just luck, but it's just like, oh, it's just an influencer, or it's just this and that. But it's really not. It's just, there's so much more layers under this. And no one reaches that level by luck.
You can really upset me if you tell me luck.
Yeah,
Because it's almost like you're taking away the hard work.
absolutely.
Yeah. So
And the hustle,
for me,
which
it's the
clear.
hard work and God at the end.
Yeah.
God being good back to you because you showed that you're a good person.
Yeah.
And that you really want this. في مثل بالعربي, like there's a saying in Arabic,
Yeah.
افلح ما بعرف في شيء عن الفلح. انه روح افلح. الفلح هو تشتغل قبل ما يطلع حتى الضوء.
Yeah.
انه افلح لافلح معك. Something like that.
Yeah.
So and I believe I believe in that.
Yeah, sure.
I believe that every time, and if we had longer, of course, I would tell you, and I prove it to myself. Over the years, I've changed my career so many times. At the beginning, I was a fitness instructor. Then I became a makeup artist. Then I became an underwater baby instructor between 2 months and 2 years. And then I came to Dubai to do that and ended up doing my show.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
What I want to say, I recreated myself so many times because I want to survive. I want to do something great.
Yeah.
And that's when, if you see, when I'm reworking on myself, it's almost 2 years every time with no pay.
Yeah.
Willing to work with
true.
no pay. Can I tell you the last thing before
Yeah,
we
sure.
close?
Of
Okay.
course.
So I lived in Mallorca before I came to Dubai.
Uh-huh.
I had no nanny. I was with my first husband. Bailey was a baby. He was 1.5. And I was working for this magazine I told you about for free. For free. Can you imagine? You have to cook. You have to clean the house. You have to take care of a 1.5-year-old baby. He's a baby. He can just barely walk. And my husband had an accident. He broke both his elbows. So literally, I was giving him a shower, taking him to the toilet, brushing his teeth, giving him food.
Whoa.
I was going insane. And we were running out of money. I remember calling my mom and saying, like, Mom, please, I beg you, just come and help me. Like, I'm really, going insane. I just want to disappear from this earth. I can't take it anymore. I just cannot take it. And I feel that, my God, now looking back, because of that year, I got my break in NBC.
Oh, wow.
So God was testing me. That's how I see it. I don't see it any other way. So
Yeah.
don't tell me luck. It's not
Absolutely.
the luck that brought me. I was ready. If I had gone to NBC and had not done that hard work and was willing to do it for not even a penny in return, I would not be in NBC anyhow.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have even allowed me to have that conversation with the head of production. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everything else that I did before that was the same way.
I think I always say this. You always have to have a bit of faith, you know?
Yeah.
No matter what the numbers say, no matter what your circumstances say,
You just
no
don't
matter
give up.
all
And
these-
it should
you
not
have to
be
have
about
faith.
the money only. Of course, you need to make sure that whatever you're doing, at the end, of course, it's going to pay the bills and it's going to make you, live comfortably and all of that. But not at the beginning.
And we went through really tough times. I mean, throughout the course of our company. At some points, we're like, oh man, I don't know if this is going to work. And
Oh my God, you're going to work.
then somebody I asked them, do you still believe? Do
Yeah.
you still believe that this is going to happen? It's going to work and it's going to
Yeah.
blow up. And if the answer is yes, keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah.
Something will happen. It will happen. It'll come.
No.
It just have that faith.
Okay, so
you
my
know?
belief, when I look at you, you're such a good person.
Thank you.
No, I'm not
I'm
complimenting
like
you right
Bailey
now.
now.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna be like-
so let me now
I'm not
tell
sure.
you. So let me now tell you, and the reason why I'm telling you this, because I believe this is these are the ingredients
Yeah.
for successful people.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Okay, so you're a great person. You believe 100% in what you're doing, in your mission. You're willing to do all the hard work, and your goal is not money. It's not before that is the success.
Yeah.
It's proving to yourself, to your family,
To my family,
to the
yeah.
audience, to your team, to your staff, to everybody else, that you're going to do it. And you comparing yourself to the big people, and you're saying, if he can do it, I can do it. And I know that's right or wrong.
Absolutely, 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
So you're going to do it. You're doing it. You're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Others
so much.
are just dreaming about it, but you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I dreamt a lot,
Yeah.
and then at some point I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do this.
Good.
And when Zayn came, specifically my son, and
Yeah.
that's when I bit the bullet. Although it's like the worst time because you have a son now, you need to focus.
The
I was
same
like,
for
no,
me.
man.
Basil, the same for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when the kids come, sometimes they actually give you a push.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
don't hold you back.
Because it's a different reason to
Yeah.
fight now.
Yeah.
It's not for you. It's not like this is now
True.
for him.
Yeah.
And inshallah for my daughter.
It's true.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate
Thank
your time.
you.
You're the one who
I
came
don't know
here.
how long
and-
this became.
I don't even know. An hour and 15. I want to say something like that.
Anyway, I hope
Like we said,
when people listen to it, they're gonna enjoy it.
yeah,
That's the main thing.
Even if we ran out of camera time,
Yeah.
this is on audio as
Yeah,
well.
of course.
So obviously at some point this cuts and we say like
Yeah.
continue the rest on audio.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
But you've been wonderful as
Thank
always.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for your
thank you.
time.
Thank you, Basil.
And yeah, I can't wait for the future.
I can't wait for our future as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
exactly
and
what I
your
mean.
future alone. I can't wait.
Oh, thank you
I'm
so
already
much.
proud of you. Thank
I'm
you.
like Bailey right now, and I
Yeah.
feel like I cannot take a compliment. Thank you so much.
It's in us.
Thank you so much, Joelle.
Thank you.